Please play Star Fox. This is a different video than what I'd normally make, and in all honesty, it probably won't do too well, but it's fine. I need to talk about Star Fox for the Nintendo Switch 2. Star Fox has always been an integral part of my life. When I was really young, I grew up on a Nintendo 64 with Star Fox 64 being one of the first games I ever played. I didn't really get how it worked, but I thought the way they looked like puppets when they talked was kind of funny. I still have my cartridge, very beat up, but it still works. I mainly played that and then the 3DS remake when that came out. I dabbled in the original game and the sequel when I bought an SNES Classic, but the GameCube games and Command were always elusive to me. Especially Assault. With its on-the-ground and R1 gameplay, I thought that looked so sick. Other than that, the other games I would play that were Star Fox related were Smash Bros. Falco was one of my mains, him and Sonic. Something about playing a character that was the best of something felt good. I wasn't the best with him, but I did play a lot of Elite Smash Online during COVID. But then that would bring us to just a few years ago. Every time a Nintendo Direct would come out, I would hope for a new Star Fox game. I would even make bingo sheets and put it there every time. Fun fact, I actually did win a bingo. This one right here. But alas, every time I would be left disappointed. Until a few months ago, where they just showed off Fox in the Mario Galaxy movie. I saw people thinking this was him in the first trailer, and I actually thought that they were insane. But sure enough, he's in there. That surprisingly didn't get me to watch the movie though. I don't know, I was kind of busy when it got released and haven't gotten around to it, but maybe I will. I don't know. However, a lot of people were excited about it. More people than I expected. Outside of Smash Bros, I feel like this was a lot of people's first real exposure to the character, and from what I've seen about the movie, they did a decent job at portraying him. Thanks, Glenn Powell. As odd of an inclusion to the story as he was, it did show that Nintendo was interested in doing something with the characters after Zero decided to, be bad. And just a couple of months later, a Star Fox Direct gets announced, and when they showed it off, its reception was split on a number of things, to say the least. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. Is there an elephant character in Star Fox? That'd be kind of funny. This was another remake of 64. For those unaware, Star Fox on Switch 2 is a remake of Star Fox 64, which has already had a remake on the 3DS, and Star Fox Zero was a soft reboot of the series that reimagines the story of 64, and technically 64 is a reimagining the first game's story. Out of the 9 games in the Star Fox series, 5 of them have almost the exact same story other than a few slight changes. People, myself included, were hoping for a completely new story with original ideas and level designs, especially since you can already play 64 on your Switch. The other thing people complained about were the visuals. Now, I'm not talking about the graphics or environments or anything like that. They look amazing. No. People are split on the designs of the crew. The art style is very realistic, something we've never seen for these characters, so they all got redesigns, and a lot of people have an issue with it. I can see why, but I can't help but adore them. I think they were going for them to look like the puppets they used for the original game's marketing, which they did a great job emulating. One thing I will say is I don't love how Fox and Falco's legs are really small compared to their torso. Makes them look kind of chubby, if I'll be honest. Slippy is perfect though, as usual. I love how he looks in this game. But with a summer release day, all I had to do was wait. I explicitly didn't look at trailers or anything to go in blind, or as blind as I could with a remake of a game from my childhood. When the release date rolled around on June 25th, I went to 3 stores to pick them up, only to find all of them completely sold out. Which, while awesome is doing so well, it means I had to buy it digitally. Whatever, it's fine. But that raises the question, is the game good? Read the title, what do you think? Let's start off with the story. Set in the Lilat system, the game starts with a prologue starring the original Star Fox crew, Peppy, who's in the current team, Pigma, and James. You can tell it's James and not Fox because of the sweet shades. The crew are investigating Dr. Andros, who has been banished to a toxic planet known as Venom. Kind of weird side note, but in the game you can read that he was originally going to be punished by death, but they decided that it was too cruel, so the next best thing is to send him to a planet that's toxic, so he'll probably die anyways. I feel like that's even worse, I don't know. But he lived, and he made a deal with Pigma to betray Peppy and James. Peppy escapes, but James is shot down over the planet. That leads us into modern day where we learn about the new Star Fox team. Fox, you can tell it's not James because he doesn't have sweet shades. Peppy from the OG team, Slippy their mechanic, and Falco their resident asshole. Second side note, I want to complain about the naming convention in this series. So let me get this straight. Fox McCloud is a fox, so his name is Fox. But then there's Peppy Hare, who's a hare, so his species is his last name instead of his first. But then you get shit like James McCloud and Andrew. That's just a dude's name. What? Anyways, they are a mercenary group hired by the government to help them fight against Andros, who plans to rule the Lilat system. And honestly, that's pretty much it in terms of like actual plot. Each level you play, you're basically advancing to Venom to take on Andros and also weaken his army. For example, some levels you'll be defending a base, or in another one you'll be taking down a weapons depot. It's honestly a really cool way to explain why you're playing each level rather than just throwing you into it and calling it a day. And something that the remake does better than the original is give context. In the cutscenes, which I'll talk about later, if you have the ability to pick between two levels, characters will explain to Fox why they should either go to one planet or another and the risks involved. It helps to give you an extra idea of what the next level is going to be and puts you in the shoes of Fox trying to learn to be a leader, which brings me to another great thing that the remake adds. In the original game, Fox is honestly kind of a nothing burger of a character. He doesn't talk too much, letting the other characters speak a lot more, and while he isn't yapping it up like Falco in the remake, he does have a lot more of a presence and actual character arc. Throughout the game, he's constantly compared to his dad and how awesome and amazing he was, and in the original game, Fox doesn't really react to it, but in the remake, Fox is visibly annoyed and brushes it off constantly.
You've got your father's instincts, Fox.
Some good they did him.
Which makes perfect sense. If someone started glazing my dead dad, I'd be kind of annoyed too. But it also plays into Fox trying to be a leader. He is constantly undermined, is not seen as a real leader, and it's just really nice to see the characters interact like that in the cutscenes, which are also a new addition. Before each mission, it shows what the crew's up to and them getting their assignment from General Pepper, and it just helps flesh out their characters and relationships with each other outside of the missions where they can just chill and drink soda together. They have a lot of soda in that fridge, what the hell? This game really feels like Nintendo's Hollywood movie, if that makes sense. It takes heavy inspiration from big blockbuster sci-fis, it looks and feels incredibly cinematic, and Nintendo even made a movie poster for it. But with all the looks, how does it play? Pretty good! I'm not really like into game design, so I don't know how to describe it other than it just feels nice to play, I guess. For those who don't know, Star Fox is an on-rails shooter, meaning you're constantly moving and you just gotta shoot. Sometimes you'll go in all range mode and get a big environment to fly around in, but for the most part, you're just going through levels shooting at as many enemies as you can. Sometimes you'll be in a tank or a submarine, but for the most part, you'll be in the R-Wing. There are two different controls for the game, the classic way with a controller, and then the new control scheme with two Joy-Cons and with the new mouse feature for the Switch 2. I tried it, and it's kind of weird. It's like almost playing a first-person shooter, but not quite. I'm glad it's here, it's really novel, but I don't think I would play the game consistently with it. I did do a run with it though, and it was kind of hard. My favorite aspect of the gameplay though is the team. Falco, Slippy, and Peppy are all flying throughout the level, helping kill enemies and deciding when it's a great idea to fly in front of you while you're shooting. And then they have the goal to get mad at you. Like, you flew into me. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Sometimes they'll need help with an enemy on their literal tail, and if you decide to not help them, they will get shot down and won't be there for the next level. It's kind of the same effect as Tails in the classic Sonic game, if that makes sense. Yeah, they're kind of a nuisance sometimes, but it's nice having a pal around, you know? If you play Star Fox in a straight shot, you'll beat it in about 2 hours, hour and a half if you're good. I don't want to brag, but it took me an hour and a half. Though it does get kind of hard at the end. I was getting shot down a few times. This is the main criticism I've seen of the game, that it's far too short, which honestly, like, if you're saying that, 90% chance you're a Star Fox LARPer. Star Fox's, like, best aspect is the replayability. You are able to go to every planet in a single run, and with planets having different objectives and different ways to complete it, there's over 20 different routes to play, and with 2 different endings, there's a lot of content right there. Plus, that's not even counting battle mode, challenge mode, and the gallery. There is also co-op multiplayer where one person can be the gunner and one can fly. Kind of like Mario Galaxy, where it's like one person just shooting the star the entire time, so it's kind of lame. But it's kind of cool that it's there. There is 4v4 battles, which I tried online and I am really bad at. Well, it's pretty fun. I kind of wish they kept the 64 battle mode where you can just do split screen one-on-ones, and you can even go on foot in those. It's kind of cool. I'd also be mistaken if I didn't mention that with the Nintendo Switch 2 camera feature, you can make yourself look like the characters, and it's so funny. I love it. It's probably my favorite feature. On my first run of the campaign, I did pretty good and got the true ending. It does help that I knew some of the alternate routes and was pretty familiar with the game. A nice quality of life thing is they actually give more hints on how to get the alternate paths through a level. For example, in the first level, to get to the alternate boss, you have to save Falco and then go through these ring thingies. In the original game, after saving Falco, nothing suggests going through the rings will do anything. But in the remake, Falco actually challenges Fox to do it.
Those archways make for a good obstacle course. Think you can thread the needle?
A fun bit of banter and an easy way to show the player what to do. Overall, this is kind of how I would just describe Star Fox 2026, which it's just a big quality of life update. It's an upgrade in almost every way, outside of battle mode and the puppet look when they talk. Outside of that and like nostalgia, I have no reason to go back to the original, which is what I think every remake should strive to be. This so far is probably my game of the year, but I've been playing the new James Bond game, it's really fun, so they're kind of tied right now. But Star Fox is selling super well, so hopefully this isn't the last we hear of the team in quite a while. Thank you for watching. Next video will probably be Dead by Daylight related. There's an event going on, but I just had to make this video because I love Star Fox so much. So, yeah, this video will get like 2 views or something. But whatever, I don't care. Yeah. Alright, see ya, bye. Ground and Arwen gameplay, I thought that looked so sick. Other than that, fucking phone!